Daytime temperature 0, as good a day as you could dream of in the Alberta capital in late November.
Two of the first place finishers in their divisions. Ottawa Redblacks in the east, Calgary in the west.
And Rene Paredes to kick things off. We're underway. And a bouncing kickoff that will be rolling to the edge, and some good patience there by Deontay Spencer to allow it to roll out. So it's a legal kickoff and good field position for Trevor Harris.
Illegal kickoff out of bounds, Calgary. Ball will be placed at the 45-yard line, first down.
As Trevor Harris gets set to make his first Grey Cup start. He had the 6-shooter last week and a playoff record up against the only team he's never beaten in the Canadian Football League.
Just 3 misses in 32 attempts against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Eastern Final for Trevor Harris. His first start in a Grey Cup championship with the Ottawa Redblacks.
So after the penalty, they start at the 45-yard line. And they hand it off to William Powell, number 2 in the league in rushing this year. A man who missed the Grey Cup game in 2016 with injury. He has 4 on his first carry.
These two teams faced each other early in the season. Calgary won both, but in the first matchup, William Powell had 123 yards rushing in that game. They'll have to have a similar game to keep that good, strong Calgary defense off balance. To do that, you got to contain Micah Johnson. That's in the hands of Evan Johnson, former UFS Husky, who plays left guard, and Nolan McMillan at right guard.
2nd and 7, Harris over the middle, and a ball is dropped. You won't see that often. Greg Ellingson unable to hang on after having his best game of the year last week with 144 yards on 8 catches.
Yeah, he was the leading receiver for Ottawa in that Eastern Final, and he's just going to find the seam in the zone look. Calgary dropping off early, just flat out dropped it. Good throw from Trevor Harris. Right where it had to be in the open area. Really threw him open into that window.
So Terry Williams drops deep. 3 punt return touchdowns on the year. Richie Leone to punt for Ottawa in his first Grey Cup game. And a line drive kick is fielded by Williams. A 39-yard punt. And Williams is dropped shy of the 30-yard line. A late flag comes down. J.P. Bolduc, one of the Red Blacks captains, down in a hurry.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 33. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The ball carrier and Terry Williams was down. But it can maintain your composure.
4th Grey Cup start for Bo Levi Mitchell, and the pressure on early, and he is dropped. J.R. Tavai gets home early for the first sack of the Grey Cup game.
Boy, just straight power rush from Tavai. He's coming from the left of your screen. A little tight end set for Bo Levi Mitchell to start the first series off for Calgary. He just bowls his way to the quarterback. 7-yard loss for Mitchell.
Here's the look from the ref cam, and just enough to trip up Bo Levi Mitchell. Tavai, a USC product. His uncle once played for the legendary New Zealand All Blacks. So 2nd and 17 for Mitchell. Has time, has a target, and a first down, and it's big Chris Matthews rolling into Ottawa territory. Finally dropped around the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 38 for a guy who was almost the Super Bowl MVP a few years back.
Well, certainly he knows the big stage. Chris Matthews played for the Seahawks back in 15, had 4 for 109 in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and he knows the theater of a championship game. Comes across the middle, clutch, and 2nd and real long for Calgary in this first series. What a catch over the middle.
Mitchell led the league with 42 passes of over 30 yards on the season. Hits one early for 38 and a first down. And now gets it into the hands of Juwan Brescison, who did not catch a pass in the Western Final, was injured in practice just prior to that game and never was targeted, but he has an early catch here.
Well, Chris, it's been a challenging year, as you know, for the Calgary receiving corps. They had to make changes even this week, so they bring Bakari Grant into the lineup. He has experience in the CFL, 8 years of experience, and in Grey Cup games. Tavares Daniels, a late scratch. Shane Bergen is the most underrated offensive lineman in the league, allowing just 3 sacks in 3 years.
Back-to-back first downs in the first carry for Don Jackson. And Michael Clausen brings him down. Clausen, a former Stampeder who did not play in last year's game.
Defensively for the Ottawa Red Blacks, you won't see a lot of these names up front on the marquee, but collectively they were second in the league in points allowed. And they're led by Avery Ellis up front in the D-line, 9 sacks in 2 years. Anthony Choppy in the linebacking core, and Antoine Pruneau is the safety keeping it together on the back end.
So now 2nd and 7. Mitchell stands in, throws, open target, and intercepted. Jonathan Rose came across and takes it away. And the man with the most interceptions this year in the Canadian Football League has a big one early against Bo Levi Mitchell. There is a flag down. Bo threw 3 2 years ago in the Grey Cup game against the Red Blacks.
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell has passed in his 3 Grey Cups for over 300 yards, over 350 yards on average in all 3 games, but has had issues with interceptions.
After the interception, Major Flau, blindside block, Ottawa number 44. We'll go half the distance to the goal, be first down Ottawa.
So after the penalty, Ottawa starts at the 5. William Powell up to the 9-yard line. Micah Johnson the tackle, a 4-yard run.
Micah Johnson, 14 sacks, second in the Canadian Football League. Unheard of for an interior defensive lineman. Just an outstanding season for the CFL All-Star. Alex Singleton in the middle, 123 defensive tackles for Singleton, another 100-plus year. And there's the senior statesman in the back end in Brandon Smith.
Stingy's team in points allowed. That pass is knocked down. Looked like it was tipped by Trey Roberson. You saw the feature. Roberson playing on the same stadium in the same big game as his grandfather did for the Edmonton Eskimos, Larry Highbaugh, who won 6 cups.
Well, Roberson is going to do the exact same thing. He's going to fall off his man. And Deontay Spenter is just sitting outside on that out route. He falls underneath the corner and gets his hands on it. That's exactly the same play that Jonathan Rose got his pick for Ottawa.
And Peters Rookie of the Year, Tunde Adeleke. Terry Williams dropped back with Richie Leone 5 yards deep in the end zone. And he will put it out of there. Launches this beyond midfield, and Williams at his 51-yard punt. And he'll get dropped right at midfield. Dusk in the Grey Cup City. Bo Levi Mitchell has now thrown 6 interceptions in Grey Cup play.
And there is the contradiction. The best winning percentage ever, but trying to change that Grey Cup stat. Yeah, and the league's outstanding player. Got that award on Thursday night, but is tired of hearing that Calgary can't finish.
First quarterback ever to throw over 5,000 yards with no 1,000-yard receiver. Throws the pitch here to Lamar Durant and brought down around the 50-yard line. Tackle made by J.R. Tavai, who's been all over the field.
Well, one of the stats that jumps off the page for Bo Levi Mitchell, especially this year, is that he pushes the ball deep. He's admitted that when he's reading and going through progressions, he starts with the deep ball and then works his way back. His coach as a quarterback, like that high completion percentage, moving the offense intermediate to the deep ball.
5 for Durant, 2nd and 5. And another quick hitter. The slant is caught by Breskinson and gets wrestled down by Sherrod Baltimore, one of the Red Blacks who was suffering from a flu bug or perhaps food poisoning this week.
Well, this secondary for the Ottawa Redblacks has got to be great against the deep ball. And already Jonathan Rose has an interception on a deep ball attempt from Mitchell. He led the league with 42 attempts over 30 yards. So Noel Thorpe, the defensive coordinator for Ottawa, understands they've got to be solid on the deep ball. Make Bo Levi Mitchell chip away at it.
And off to Don Jackson, and crashing across to By again. And he got help from Avery Ellis as the two defensive ends converge on the running back.
Tavai's coming off the edge. A couple of big plays for him early in this Grey Cup. Great backside run down of Don Jackson. Hold him to 0 gain there. Samoan descent, played at USC.
Will gain 2nd and 10. More pressure on Mitchell. He escapes and throws high and dropped by Durant, who nearly made the circus catch. Mitchell showing you his escapability there when it looked like he might have been dropped for a sack.
And maybe some early nerves for the offenses here. We saw a drop from Greg Ellingson. That's very uncharacteristic. Same for Lamar Durant. Had a chance at that one, and offensively, I think both these teams just trying to settle down a little bit. Had to climb the ladder to go get to it.
We watch Rennie Paredes in warm-up not be able to hit from 52, so they're going to punt the ball. Rob Maver will bounce it downfield. O.J. Harris makes the first man miss and steps out at the 17. A lot of discussion about the field conditions for this game. Let's head to the sidelines here, Sarah Orleski.
Well, Chris, it's certainly been a hot topic over the last couple of days with this field being frozen and very hard. Players concerned about it with respect to footwear. Some came out today, one wearing a cleat on one foot and then a Destroyer on the other, with many going with the Destroyer. So the Destroyer has a spiral bottom, better to be able to grip with. The concern, especially when you look at any area that's painted, I'm told it's very, very slippery. Rob Maver said that this is the first time, he's in his 9th career, this is the 9th season, this is the first time that he has ever worn a Destroyer in a game.
And it's the second time that Ottawa will start inside their own 20. A little toss here inside, and Deontay Spitzer gets Ottawa its initial first down of the game. Let's check in on the Ottawa sidelines. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Chris, all week the Ottawa Redblacks have been saying they're not concerned about the field because they played in conditions like this in the East Final. Their offense was so productive. They were wearing those turf shoes. But before kickoff, I overheard Trevor Harris saying this is a really slippery field. Richie Leone, who's wearing a turf shoe and a kicking shoe, said even if you're wearing a turf shoe, it's hard to trust one cleat over the other. Chris?
Of course, conditions a lot better than last year in the snow in Ottawa, and there is a pass batted down. Jagarrett Davis gets a paw on it. And 3 incompletions in the game for Trevor Harris, which matches all of last week of the Eastern Final.
Jagarrett Davis with 7 sacks on the season. Had a couple of interceptions from that defensive end position as well. Gets that right paw.
2 sacks in the Western Final for the man who succeeded Charleston Hughes. 2nd and 10. Harris comes down. It is intercepted. Picked off by Deontay Evans. So both interceptions of the game from Nebraska Cornhusker graduates. First it was Rose, and now it's Evans. And it's Calgary football in Ottawa territory.
So far in this first quarter, the field has been tilted in Calgary's favor. They're playing in Ottawa's end. They just can't get out of the hole, and now a turnover. So 1-1 in this game. Ellingson, the intended target. He's the number 2 receiver right here who is trying to get that in route. When he makes the cut, it's jumped by Deontay Evans. That's good film study before the game, understanding the route patterns, and jumps it.
So Calgary football at the Ottawa 32. Another quick hitter. Breskison's got another catch. Sherrod Baltimore with the tackle, but Breskison already with 3 in the game. The Mississauga product.
But offensively, Chris, Calgary wanting to put points on the board in the sudden change. You can build momentum when you do that. Get the turnover from your defense in plus territory. Calgary's got to finish.
Short yardage team come in with Nick Arbuckle. Second and under a yard to go, and he follows Big Shane Bergman off the left side and has the Calgary first down.
Been a tough year for the receiving corps. The starting lineup across the board injured during the season. Eric Rogers missed 9 games of the regular season, but boy, did he have a great Western final. 3 touchdowns for Eric Rogers and his money in the playoffs. 4 games, over 300 yards, 8 touchdowns in 4 games in the postseason for Eric Rogers, the go-to guy for Bo Levi Mitchell. But it's been tough in that receiving corps all year long.
Mitchell back in, first down. Here comes Heath. That'll screen it out. And got Jackson. Open field. Touchdown. Yard touchdown from Bo Levi Mitchell to Don Jackson. That's his first pass receiving touchdown of the season.
There he is, spotlight's on him. What a great call by Dave Dickinson. He loads up the wide side of the field with all the receivers, and then he sneaks Don Jackson, his tailback, to the backside into the short side of the field, and he is not covered. There's a footwear. I'm going to change him right now.
No problem getting to the end zone, but that ball after scoring will make him change. So a good start for Calgary. See if Ottawa can get better field position. Here's Deontay Spencer trying to get outside, and he'll be angled out around the 28-yard line. Tonight's game watching in over 150 countries. ESPN2 in the States, BT Sports in the United Kingdom, and many others. And for the first time, this game being broadcast in Spanish to Mexico. We welcome Aaron Soriano and Frank Beltre, who is getting his first assignment tonight as a color commentator as they take this game back to Mexico. William Powell straight ahead with a big run by Powell as he drags his way up to the 43-yard line, and that's 15 for Powell. The Stampeders saying the ball came loose, and the official discussing it.
You see the ball bounce. Yeah, you see it bounce, but was he down by contact before it came out? They're ruling that he was down. They're ruling that that was down by contact. Well, now they're going to review it.
So Dave Dickinson is challenging, told us yesterday he would challenge if there were potential points at stake, and in that field position, Calgary would take over.
He just wanted to get clarification, used his challenge flag to do it.
The ruling on the field was forward progress stop. Calgary did not have that information. They've withdrawn their challenge. They will still have their challenge the rest of the game.
Not knowing that that was the call, it would have meant a lost challenge for Dave Dickinson, so they allow him to pick it up. And a reprieve for Trevor Harris and company. First down, and they stay on the ground to Powell. And William Powell, another good run as he drives his way across the 50. Well, that was one of your keys before the game. Can Ottawa establish a ground game with the number 2 running back in the league this year.
And the running back who missed the final 2 games of the regular season because Rick Campbell elected to rest him before the Eastern final.
Lost the rushing title by 8 yards to Andrew Harris. Got 9, so 2nd and 1. Back in his hands. And that should be a first down. Coming up on the Freedom Mobile halftime show, Grammy Award winner Alessia Cara takes the stage, along with analysis from Rod Henry, Matt, and Milt. And James, Jock, and Davis all coming up at halftime. We saw Davis Sanchez in the pregame show early with Sarah Orleski as a receiver, and he really diagrammed what Jonathan Rose did on the first interception of the game. Play action fake to Powell, but nobody home, and down goes Trevor Harris as Derek Wigan has the sack. Flag down, though, in the Calgary secondary.
Trevor Harris went with play action. He wanted to get the ball to Greg Ellingson. Off the play action.
Illegal contact. Calgary number 28. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
Senior statesman in that Calgary secondary in his 6th Grey Cup.
Yeah, he jumped the route by Ellingson and made contact just before the ball arrived. So Devon Claybrooks, the defensive coordinator, regroups on a 1st and 10 here. But there's Ellingson right here, and watch as he goes and makes that inside cut. You see Sinopoli on the inside, and there's the early contact. Excuse me, Sinopoli, not Ellingson.
First down, they empty it out. Harris, a little double clutch there, but gets it in the flat to the fullback, J.C. Beaulieu.
This is big, though, for Ottawa to get out of the hole. They've been playing in that field disadvantage. Calgary having the advantage in field position in this first quarter. Jamie Elizondo, the offensive coordinator, changed things up about mid-season for Trevor Harris. He didn't simplify the plays, just the way they called them, so that Harris, when he broke the huddle, could look at the defense from the time he broke the huddle and make his early reads.
Looking at 2nd and 4 here. Stands in, throwing downfield, and unable to connect with Ellingson. Picked up there by the safety, Adam Berger. So the drive stalls.
But an important one to grab some field position.
And they're going to try a long Lewis Ward field goal. The kid who was a security guard at last year's Grey Cup game is on the field.
What a season. Outstanding rookie, outstanding special teams player in the Canadian Football League.
Two-time winner, 51 of 52. Pro football record, and from 48 yards out, he has missed. He missed once last week in a couple of converts, and now has missed in the Grey Cup game, and you see the slippery turf as Terry Williams goes down around the 12-yard line. Well, it was a special morning for us this morning. Our congratulations to the boss, Paul Graham, inducted into the Football Reporters of Canada Hall of Fame, joining many of the Edmonton legends like Brian Hall in the Hall of Fame. And congratulations from Stuart Johnson, Mark Milliere, and all of us who work under Paul Graham. And
absolutely, what a resume for our boss, Paul Graham. Olympics and, of course, the World Juniors, but he has a true love for the game of football in our country.
Ref Camp, live mic games, all part of Paul Graham's work. And a handoff inside on the deepest start for Calgary. And the final play of the opening quarter.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
7-0 Calgary after the opening quarter of the 106th Grey Cup. As you check the numbers, and the rushing numbers for Ottawa okay, but certainly not the pass numbers.
They did establish William Powell, got a little bit of the pass game going in that last drive of the first quarter, but it looked to me like both offenses were a little bit nervous and trying to fight some jitters. You know, when you're in the championship game, all the coaches have to do is open the locker room door. You're going to be pumped up for the championship game. You got to control those emotions, and as this game goes on, those offenses will settle in.
Field position was an issue in the opening quarter for Rick Campbell. His team's average field position start the 24, and now trying to flip the field here if the defense can get a stop on Dave Dickinson's offense that looks at second and long from their own 11-yard line. And a procedure call coming up against the Stampeders. Somebody flinched.
Procedure, Calgary number 50 yard. 5-yard penalty. The clock will be held to the snap.
The first quarter, the first series, Bo Levi Mitchell was in a 2nd and 10+ after the sack. Got out of it with a deep throw over the middle to Chris Matthews.
59, Randy Richards, who we're told can get fired up, and was a little too fired up on that play. So 2nd and 16. From his goal line, a pump and go down the sidelines and out of the reach of Lamar Durant.
Just got tangled up with Baltimore on the outside, but Lamar Durant had a shot at this. I mentioned how Bo Levi Mitchell will start in his progression with the deep ball. If he has a chance to go down the field, he's going to take it. But you can see just right there, Baltimore stumbles into Durant, slows him up just a little bit. No flag on the field.
Red Blacks did not concede a safety in this situation. Let's see if Calgary handles it the same way. They do. Maber boots it away. Spencer slipped at midfield and now picks it up. But you could see the footing was awful, and Spencer was slow to react to the football because of it.
Well, it starts to get in your head a little bit too once you slip once. Deontay Spencer slipped before he even got the ball in his hands.
And it looks like he's been nicked a little bit as Spencer makes his way to the sidelines.
No yards. Calgary number 3. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So great field position in Calgary territory as Harris rolls, guns downfield, and it's caught. Great catch, R.J. Harris over Jamar Wall.
Going to see Alex Singleton, the middle linebacker for the Calgary Stampeders. He has problems with the footing right at the point of attack, trying to get to Trevor Harris. Harris does have the time to get it out there. 22-yard gain by RJ, the other end of that throw.
That Harris connection worked 6 times for 71 yards in the Eastern Final. 22-yard pickup straight ahead. Powell. And again, yards after contact for William Powell. Another good gain on first down for the Red Black running back.
William Powell studies backs going back in history. His favorite growing up in Texas was Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. Big Cowboy fan growing up. But he said he's watched guys like Mike Pringle and admired their game in the Canadian Football League. Guys like Gale Sayers, he goes back that far and tries to incorporate all of that into his game. He can do it all.
Did you get shivers when he mentioned Mike Pringle? Second down, Harris, a lot of steamboats, and over the middle, incomplete. Intended for the fullback, Beaulieu, but it will be third down, and Lewis Ward will come back onto the field.
Trevor Harris in the Eastern Final used 10 different receivers, accumulating those 6 touchdown passes and completion percentage of just over 90%, a CFL record as well, but still trying to find that groove in this championship.
First bit of adversity in the season for Lewis Ward. Mentioned the misses last week. Slippery field here, but up and through, and the Red Blacks are on the board with that 29-yard field goal. Saw Deontay Spencer hobble off earlier. With an update, here's Matthew Shinetti.
See, they're working on his knee up to his hip. Pre-game, Deontay Spencer told me the trick on this field was keeping his feet under him. Looking at him right now as he's getting treated on, he's in a lot of discomfort, guys.
Leading all-purpose yardage man in the CFL this year. That'd be a big loss. Calgary takes it at the 35. Play comes down as Mitchell throws, and there's Bakari Grant, just his second game of the year. Grant, a late addition because of all the injuries in that Calgary receiving corps.
Yeah, including this week, Markeith Ambles injured. Bakari Grant in for him.
Offside. Calgary number 15. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Tavares Daniels was very close. But take a look at Bakari Grant, mentioned off the top. He's a veteran of 8 years in the Canadian Football League. 1,000-yard season with Saskatchewan last year. And I know you were wondering all year why he wasn't on a roster somewhere.
I wanted the APB out, best year of his career. It took till the second last weekend of the year for him to get in the lineup this season. After the penalty, they moved back 5, but a connection here to Chris Matthews, another one of those late ads.
You know, for both these teams now, offensively and defensively, with the footing the way it is, they'll continue to experiment with their shoes. And for the offense, they've just got to get to their spot. So it's tougher to make those double moves, tougher to really deke a defensive back. You just got to get to your route. If it's a corner, make one cut, round it off, and get there, which means we're going to see a lot of contested throws in this one tonight.
Got back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Mitchell throws over the middle, and he makes a connection with Eric Rogers. Number 15 with a big first down catch up in midfield.
Contested catch because he's got Kyrie Saint-Bear on the underneath coverage. Exactly what I'm talking about with the footing. Watch Eric Rogers, as he's going to have to banana this route, not really make any sharp cuts or moves, just get to the spot on the field where Bo Levi Mitchell can hit him. It's a 21-yard gain, but look, Kyrie Saint-Bear right in his hip pocket, and Rogers wins the battle.
And knee surgery midway through the year. And the Stamps were really concerned of whether or not Rogers could play in back-to-back games, but after what he did last week in the Western Final, he is in back-to-back, and now Chris Matthews is getting attention.
Dave Dickinson told us Tavares Daniels was very close, but he had a collarbone injury, and with a collarbone, you can't test it full in practice. So he said he was unsure, and with Eric Rogers still not 100% and may not being able to finish this game, he couldn't take the chance on both of them not being able to finish. That's why Bakari Grant drew into the lineup for Tavares Daniels.
Chris Matthews trying to head back into the huddle, but he's out for 3 plays. And Julon Lynch comes in to take his spot. University of Saskatchewan product. So at midfield, first down, Don Jackson. Not much up the middle as he gets stacked up. And in the middle of it is Kyrie Saint-Bear, the 38-year-old, the last Renegade, a guy who started his CFL career with the Ottawa Renegades back in 2004.
Kyrie Saint-Bear plays on the edge, but when I asked defensive coordinator Noel Thorpe about him, he said, boy, I'm proud to coach this guy. 9 different cities in 2 leagues throughout his career, over 600 tackles. He disrupts plays.
18-year pro looking for his first Grey Cup. 2nd and 9. Mitchell's got time. And an open target. And there is Lynch with a catch. Only 2 receptions during the regular season, both in a game against the Toronto Argonauts. And here he delivers a 26-yard reception in the Grey Cup game.
Well, you nailed it, Chris. Lots of time for Mitchell in the pocket. He has time to go through those progressions. Take a look. No play action here, but no pressure on him at all. Nice throwing lane to step up in there, right on the logo at midfield to find Lynch on the sideline. Got a good group up front with Derek Dennis, CFL-PA All-Star, voted on his peers at left tackle, and I mentioned Shane Bergman at left side is solid.
So it's a first down. Looks like they're setting up the screen inside, and Durant unable to make a catch. I wanted to ask you, slippery field, as a former defensive back, did you feel like you were at a big disadvantage?
It changes your technique because it's hard to redirect. So if you're going to play off a receiver like Lamar Durant or Eric Rogers, you've got to try and redirect when he makes his break. What you can do is change your technique and go to more of a press coverage, so you're in there running with the receiver stride for stride from the get-go.
2nd and 10. Ottawa shows pressure. Quickly out of the hands of Mitchell, and Rogers has the catch. Shrugs off first contact and surges ahead close to what appears to be a Calgary first down.
Well, he fights for extra yards here. Mitchell wants the next play so he can get him up on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes you don't have to run full speed, and another slip from Rogers, but he gains control. Look at him battle for an extra yard or 2.
6'3", 250, showed you his strength there. Calgary had issues in the red zone this year, but they've scored on each of their last 5 trips. Terry Williams in the backfield. 1st and 10 Calgary. 3-step drop, and now Mitchell's got to take off, looking for Durant. Got it! Is it a touchdown? Yes! Touchdown, Lamar Durant.
Bo Levi Mitchell told me yesterday when I asked him, what must you do to win this game against a hot Ottawa football team? He said, we've got to finish drives with touchdowns. This is big in that regard, but also for Lamar Durant, who had a couple of drops, one in the first quarter, one just a few moments ago. That's a big one for his confidence as he stretches across the goal line.
Command center has confirmed the touchdown. Durant had one in 2016. Out of Centennial Secondary and Coquitlam. And into the end zone in the Grey Cup game for his 2nd championship touchdown. Ready Paredes adds the convert. 14-3 Stampeders.
Lamar Durant, nice bang route on Jonathan Rose, and watch how carefully he runs this route with the bad footing as he's going to go on an inside cut. Jonathan Rose choosing to play off him and playing coverage. Now he has trouble redirecting on that bang route to the outside. The ball is thrown out in front of him, and Durant makes amends after a couple early drops.
So advantage Rose early in the game, but now Durant, LaMarvelous, comes back with a touchdown grab, and here's R.J. Harris taking the spot of Deontay Spencer, and he will not reach the 30-yard line. Well, we mentioned Aaron Soriano and Frank Beltre are here broadcasting in Spanish. Here's how Mexico heard that last call.
Allá va moviendo a su ofensiva, con tiempo para lanzar, mucho tiempo, compra un poco más el pase, este no lo iba a desperdiciar, y es touchdown, touchdown para...
Since we might be in trouble.
Outstanding.
Valerian Orimolade in for Jagaris Davis, play action fake, and Trevor Harris is now 3 for 10, the man who led the CFL in pass percentage at 70.1 is at 30%. here in the first half.
Well, accuracy from the quarterback is so important, Chris, especially with the footing the way it is, because it's tougher for the receivers to redirect to the ball if it's a little behind them or a little short.
Well, this offense hasn't got any traction yet. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush. Got some time. And that one almost picked off. Emmanuel Davis. A good break on the football. It's the 3rd 2 and out. The intended target was Deontay Spencer back in, and he argues that there was no call on the play.
Devon Claybrooks, the defensive coordinator for Calgary, who will be sought after as a possible head coach in the league, has already made an adjustment because of the field. He is playing more zones, allowing his DBs to just back off and then break on the football when it's thrown.
Derry Williams back. Will this slick field effect punt cover? Williams with 3 punt return touchdowns during the year. 34-yard punt. And the Red Blacks down in a hurry. Flag on the play. It's a 14-3 Calgary lead. And Mitchell throwing. Rogers, does he have the grab? Looks like he does. Holds on for a catch across the 35.
Favorite target in this one's become Eric Rogers. No surprise there.
7 yards. 2nd and 3, Stampeders on their own 37 yard.
Dickinson trying to keep balance in the offense as well. That's why we've seen healthy diet from Don Jackson. But they want to keep Ottawa's defense off balance.
7 for Rogers, his 3rd catch of the game, sets up 2nd and 3. And they run the jet. It's Bakari Grant with it, and he gets cut down. Defensive play made by Rico Murray, the top defensive player for the Red Blacks on the season.
Gets a good spot here.
First down.
Sorry, Chris. He gets a good spot here up to the 40-yard line, which should move the chains. Agreed. You look like when he was cut down, he was about a yard short, but got the benefit of the doubt from the officials, and a new set of downs for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Last possession for Calgary, an 8-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. 1st and 10 here from their 40. Pressure's coming, gets it away. It's intercepted. It's Sherrod Baltimore with the pick. Heading west and getting brought down at the 39-yard line by Durant. But it's the 2nd interception of this first half by the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Interceptions have got Mitchell in trouble in past Grey Cups. And it looked like a communication issue between he and Chris Matthews, who was running a straight go route alongside Eric Rogers, and he threw it believing that Matthews was going to break on an inside cut there. Sherrod Baltimore wasn't fooled. He sat on the throw.
And one in the Eastern Final, 3 for the Red Blacks last week, and now 2 in the opening half. Bo Levi Mitchell now 7 interceptions tossed in Grey Cup play. And William Powell with the carry for 7, setting up 2nd and manageable for Ottawa.
Mitchell working it out with that receiving core. Again, it's changed almost game to game. I mean, understand where the communication problem was between he and Matthews, but this is sudden change opportunity for Ottawa.
Quarterback coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Ottawa scored a couple of times on the opening play after a takeaway last week. Here they grind out a first down on the carry by Powell.
Jimmy Elizondo going with William Powell. Back-to-back plays here in plus territory to just continue to feed the star tailback the football and control the line of scrimmage in doing it, because on that line of scrimmage is Micah Johnson. I haven't mentioned him much yet, but we talked about him all year long in All-Star.
With Powell, 8 carries, 51 yards so far. Those orange shoes have some traction as he bumps it outside, but that ball popped loose. Who's got it? Looks like Arimolade came up with it and has taken it away for the Stampeders. was able to separate Powell from the football.
Powell has it in the football in his right arm, and that's where the contact is coming from. It's Jameer Thurman who strips it out. You're right, Chris. Recovered by Calgary. Sudden change to sudden change. Muscling to the football pays off.
So Powell had one come out at the whistle earlier in the game, and now gives up another. Just one fumble lost during the regular season, but a huge takeaway for Calgary to get the ball right back.
Even professionals at times will have that lapse in judgment. That ball should have been in the other arm.
So they trade turnovers here, and Mitchell gets a reprieve and sets up the screen, but Don Jackson unable to pull it down. It'll be 2nd and 10. But not just a turnover, one in scoring territory for the Red Blacks. And Rimolade came up with it, replacing Jagarrett Davis, who has been getting attention on that Calgary bench.
Jameer Thurman making the play, Chris, to strip the ball out of there from William Powell. What a season Thurman has had. One of the great young linebackers in the Canadian Football League out of Indiana State.
One of my candidates for most underrated player in this league. 2nd and 10. On time. Wow. Anybody home? Underneath it goes, and Don Jackson is wrestled down immediately by Kai Bear.
Big play there to Kyrie Bear to track down Don Jackson. Get the ball back for Ottawa.
Spencer back just inside the Ottawa 50. As Rob Neighbor lets it fly. 44-yard punt. Spencer on the return, and he skips out of bounds in Calgary territory around the stamp 53. A week ago, Trevor Harris was 29 of 32. 367 yards, 6 touchdowns. A much different story here tonight.
Different defense.
Back-to-back starts around midfield, and open receiver here. It's Julian Fioli. Gadino getting away, and it's at the core touchdown. What a spectacular play by the Laval product for 55 and a touchdown.
Just one catch in the Eastern Final for Fioli Gadino. This will be the biggest of his career so far, and he's been in the Canadian Football League for 7 years. What a play.
10 years ago, he had a touchdown in the Vanier Cup for Laval. This one, much bigger than that.
Secures the football on contact, battles for the extra 2 yards to cross the goal line.
Talk about unlikely heroes. 11 catches during the regular year, 2 touchdowns in the game, and these replays show you that ball did break the plane. Although we were waiting for command center confirmation, and we're told that it has been confirmed. 55-yard play, his biggest as a Red Black. Was on the practice roster of the Argos back in 2012 when they beat Calgary in the 100th Grey Cup game. Well, that changes things.
Love to go for 2. Gone for 2 more than any team in the CFL.
17 of 23 in these 2-point attempts. Trying to make it a 3-point game, and they'll fake it to Powell, open target, and Beaulieu has it. And now 18 of 24, almost automatic on the 2-point converts, and Jamie Elizondo is fired up at the momentum change in the game.
Yeah, Jamie Elizondo said to us yesterday that this team is a one-go, we-go type of team. And that they're all going to chip in. Mentioned in the Eastern Final, 10 different receivers. J.C. Beaulieu, who just caught the 2-point convert, had a touchdown on a corner route in the Eastern Final. Brendan Galanders on a screenplay. a touchdown for him. Boy, and that validates what they've been coaching and teaching all season long in Ottawa, that everybody chips in. 1 of 12, do your job. Everyone wins those personal battles. Win enough of those, you win the game. That's a big, big touchdown. Fiole Gadino. They're right back in it.
Leone kicks it off. Terry Williams with the return. He'll get taken down just across the 35-yard line. So a pair of touchdown passes for Bo Levi Mitchell, but 2 more interceptions for a guy who has averaged 366 yards in his Grey Cup starts.
Yeah, he's got big numbers yardage-wise. Of course, a champion in 2014 when they played against Hamilton in Vancouver. After back-to-back losses, interception's an issue there. Back to running the offense and just settle down here.
And thrown an interception in the previous 3 games. Gonna hand it off here. Don Jackson, big hole. And he powers his way across midfield into red-black territory with his best run of the game. It's a 19-yard scamper.
Boy, you can catch defensive linemen and take advantage of the field conditions, because Avery Ellis could not redirect to make this play and opened up a running lane for Don Jackson.
Into red-black territory at the Ottawa 54. Now they screen. Jackson able to pull it off his shoe tops. And good contact made there as Jonathan Rose went low on Don Jackson.
Take a look at the right side of the offensive line for Calgary here. They're going to wash down the Ottawa defense, but watch the outside. He can't redirect inside to get to that play because of the field conditions. It was Avery Ellis.
Got 7, 2nd and 3. I know you're a music guy, and Don Jackson, a hip-hop recording artist. 2nd and 3. Wanted Jackson, nearly intercepted as Matthews slipped and Jonathan Rose almost double-dipped. Well, you know the story. Suspended after the Eastern Final for pushing an official. Rose only in this game because the appeal has not been heard. And a big break for Ottawa, and a break there by Mitchell that he didn't throw a 3rd interception.
Well, Mitchell has to get rid of the football here, Chris, because he's throwing it to the spot where Chris Matthews is supposed to end up, but Matthews just went down on the break.
There's R.J. Harris, stepped out. And a 44-yard punt by Maver has pinned Ottawa. One of the toughest guys on our crew.
Yes,
Grizzly
sir.
Putri, who was run over last year in the Grey Cup game. He started, didn't finish. Good to see him back on the sidelines this year.
Take a hit and come right back for the next year's Grey Cup. Love it, Lee. Good work, my friend. Want to also mention a guy who does great work all year long. Those great ISOs you see, we call him DB. Dennis Beluyat, that's why we call him DB.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Does a great job with our ISOs.
All the guys in the truck.
Yeah.
And gals. And the catch made here. There's Brad Sinopoli, top Canadian in the league for the 2nd time. And a record setter this year with 116 catches, 3rd in the league in yards. And his first grab goes for 25.
Thursday went up against Andrew Harris for top Canadian in the CFL and won the award, and it was a pickup between those two this year.
Outstanding years for the leading rusher and the leading pass catcher. Both Canadians. Harris has got to scramble out of the pocket and for the first time takes off and is dropped by Junior Turner just across the 40-yard line.
The 3 in the league in receiving. Brad Sinopoli, 116 catches. 4 more than Ben Cahoon. in 2003.
And a guy who started as a quarterback in Calgary, playing in his 5th Grey Cup game, 2-2. In the big game, second down, and the catch is made there. Sinopoli holds on, and the Peterborough product moves the sticks.
And it looks like Trevor Harris is getting that accuracy back.
Well, it's really getting even statistically as well. Calgary with 201 net yards, and now Ottawa up to 191 and a first down here in the final minute. Got time to maybe tie it or even take the lead. Powell into the backfield, and Roberson ushers him out of bounds.
Another positive for Ottawa going in after the scores. They still have time to line up for a field goal if they can get a chunk here. Their offensive line has kept Micah Johnson at bay so far in this first half. Johnson, of course, will be working against the double team every play.
Powell 62 yards from scrimmage. Second down, and the pass for Spencer broken up. There's Roberson on the scene again.
That's a sweet breakup. Roberson coming out of his back pedal.
Grandma watching in Indianapolis tonight, proudly.
Asked Devon Claybrooks about Roberson. He said because of his pass as a quarterback, he reads the field and the receiver's routes like a quarterback would. And it gives him that split-second jump. Rookie of the Year nominee for the Calgary Stampeders.
Leone punts it. Dying seconds first half, and Terry Williams trying to get away. Terry Williams got away. Look out! He may be gone. 3 punt return touchdowns during the regular season, and one of the biggest game of the year. First punt return touchdown in the Grey Cup game since 1996. And quick 6 is off and running on the Commonwealth Stadium sidelines.
And fresh legs for Terry Williams, who did not play in the Western Final. Romar Morris got the call there, was injured in that game. Williams has fresh legs, jumping his step, and is gone on the punt return.
Not on the roster a week ago. Some suggestion he may require surgery when the season is over. But it's all right if nobody touches you. And Terry Williams goes untouched for a Grey Cup record. 97-yard punt return. Convert good. Jimmy the Jet Cunningham had a 96-yarder for the Argos in the snow in Hamilton in 96. Terry Williams just bested him and has restored a 2-score Calgary lead.
Well, not a lot of moves. He makes a couple right when he catches the football, but he got some help from the other 11 blocking for him in front. And Williams uses his speed once he gets halfway through the return to outrun Richie Leone. Grey Cup record 97-yarder. Of the returners in the regular season that had 50 returns or more, he had the best average at over 13 yards a return. And Chris, you mentioned the 3 touchdowns.
Some Ottawa fans will remember Bill Hatnaka's return. A big one in the 76 game. But the Red Blacks had got back in it, and all they had to do was cover a punt to go to the locker room, probably feeling pretty good about themselves, and Terry Williams changes all that in a hurry.
Well, does Deontay Spencer have the answer? Does R.J. Harris have the answer? Calgary may try and squib this with just a second go in the first half. Yep. No driver.
It is Harris. He's going to toss it back or not. Holding on to it pretty loosely and brought down across the 40-yard line. That's going to do it in the opening half. What a way to finish with that 97-yard touchdown run by Terry Williams. It was Ottawa by 13 at the half 2 years ago. It's Calgary by 10 as we join Matthew Shinetti.
Trevor, we know how explosive this offense could be. What is it going to take in the second half?
Us to just stay in rhythm. We started getting a nice little rhythm toward the end of the half. We just got to stay in rhythm, be able to move the chain, stay on the field, and be able to use our tempo.
Thanks, Trevor. Now with Eric Rogers, let's send it over to Sarah Orleski.
Eric, what does that do for this group to have that Terry Williams touchdown and give you guys a 10-point lead heading into the half?
It's huge. You know, Ottawa, they took momentum with that double move touchdown, and Scary Terry made a play at the end, kept his footing, and outran everyone. That was huge.
How bad is the footing out there? Fair enough.
Thank you.
Just 6 yards of net offense, the difference. But the big difference, the 97-yard punt return for Terry Williams. And a good kickoff return to start the second half as Williams across the 40-yard line.
Return by number 38.
First half to Bo Levi Mitchell. I mentioned his numbers. That was 2nd and 10 plus in the first drive of the game to hit Chris Matthews. Guys talked about the footing being a bit of a challenge. Eric Rogers became his #1 target. Don Jackson on that little dump pass over the middle was a great call by Dave Dickinson in the first half. There's Lamar Durant's touchdown. He also had a couple of picks. Wants to avoid that in the second.
Snap start at their own 42. Mitchell over the middle. It's a catch for Preskinson. Quickly taken down by Chuffy. And with that first half production, solely by Mitchell, now number 4 all-time in breakup yardage.
Pretty big names on that board. Anthony Calvillo, Ricky Ray, Doug Flutie.
And if he gets to 335 on the day, he will be number 2 all-time. Not what he came here for. No, 2nd and 5. And again over the middle, it's Rogers the catch right in front of Rico Murray and the middle linebacker Avery Williams.
No, not what he came here for. What he came here for is to end the questioning, end the comments. People saying that the Calgary Stampeders are a real good regular season team. 13 wins this year, 13 wins last year, 15 wins in 16. That team was overconfident. This team is not. They respect the Ottawa Red Blacks. They know they're going to have to dig for 60 minutes to get the win.
And they admitted this week they were overconfident.
Yes.
That wasn't your assessment. It was the assessment of many, like veteran Brandon Smith. And off Don Jackson again, straight ahead, and a run close to a first down for the Calgary running back. 5 for 22 in the first half.
Shane Bergman, Ecombre Williams, watch them open it up in the middle up front for Don Jackson. I asked Don Jackson how he described his running style this week. He said, I run violently. So that's interesting you say that, because that's how I've used to describe it all season long.
Second and inches, so Arbuckle in. See if they have anything on here. Arbuckle straight ahead behind Ecombre Williams. Brad Erdos and a first down.
Now, in that conversation with Jackson, and I asked him about his average. His average was the same as Andrew Harris. Didn't get as many touches or play in all the games this year due to injury. And he said, you know, all I work for is that when I go home to watch the video, I know that every single play was full speed. And all I try to gain is the respect of my teammates and my coaching staff. You do that, you're going to be a good football player, and Don Jackson is a great football player.
Calgary 1st and 10 at the Ottawa 45. Quick short drop pass for Matthews, and there's Choppy on the scene once again, limiting the gain, and a late penalty. Post-whistle penalties will drive the coaches crazy at any time of the year, but in particular in this game.
Rico Murray is trying to calm down.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 81, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Veteran Rico Murray was telling his teammates, it's against them. Don't get involved in the stuff after the whistle. Take a look at Chris Matthews. What does he do here? A little elbow shot.
Costly 15.
May have been something said in that exchange as well.
Game after the gain, so 2nd and 19. And they'll swing it out in the flat. The Prairie Grant can't hold on. And another flag.
I guess it's going to go against Calgary as well. I think it's holding up front.
Holding. Calgary number 59. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Randy Richards, it's going to be declined, so the punt team comes on. 2nd fewest penalties in the league this year, assessed against Dave Dickinson's crew.
There's a lot of football to be played, but that's an important stop early. The Calgary Stampeders won the toss and deferred to the second half with a 10-point lead. They score again, they get all the momentum.
Rob Weber, good boot inside the 10. R.J. Harris coming back. Does he have a crease? Finally brought down across the 20-yard line. Close to 60,000 on hand at Commonwealth. A tale of 2 quarters for Trevor Harris in that opening half.
Yeah, really struggled in the first half with just 17 passing yards, but found a rhythm in the second quarter. Got right back into it until the punt return from Terry Williams.
Well, they start just beyond the 20-yard line. And Harris has Ellingson. A catch made short of the first down around the 30. That's the first catch of the game for Greg Ellingson, a 1,000-yard receiver, number 6 in the league during the regular campaign.
Gain of 8 yards, 2nd and 2 Red Blacks. Deuxième et 2 Rouge-et-Noir. Gain de Vivet.
3 of the top 9 receivers in the league this year in this Ottawa attack. And the Buds, Ellingson and Sinopoli, have combined for 3 catches so far tonight. 2nd and short, Powell off the left side. Singleton the tackle, a first down, and you can see William Powell has changed his footwear. After wearing the bright orange, those look more like broom ball shoes here in the second half. I'm not sure they are, but
did anyone have staple guns in the locker rooms?
Those certainly aren't as funky as the orange ones, but well, a key last year for the Argos was a change of footwear at halftime in the snow in Ottawa. And here's Powell again. He's run hard tonight. Up close to the 40-yard line, and he has close to 7 more.
Yeah, but smart for Jamie Elizondo, offensive coordinator. Stay committed to the run game. Stay committed to keeping that defense a little bit off balance for the Calgary Stampeders. If you become one-dimensional against Micah Johnson and that group up front, it's a long night. He knows that. That's what's important about keeping Powell involved.
2nd and 3, they stay on the ground, and Powell's got a big hole. 2nd level across the 50, and William Powell gives Ottawa a fresh set of downs.
R.J. Harris, young receivers watching, sometimes you got to get your nose dirty, kids, and this is one of the examples right here as he's going to come out and get a kick-out block. R.J. Harris, that slot back from the left of your screen all the way across. Nice kick-out block there to cut down on Cordero Law, a 12-yard gain off that block for William Powell.
12 yards for Powell. Stay with him. And dropped around the 54. Cordero Law makes the tackle. His 3rd Grey Cup game for the Stamps, looking for his first win.
Right now, Evan Johnson, former Husky, and Nolan McMillan are controlling the interior of Devon Claybrook's group. That offensive line, the tackles, and Alex Mateus at center. I mean, we haven't talked a lot about Micah Johnson and his 14 sacks in the regular season.
2nd and 8. They throw, quick hitter, and it's caught. R.J. Harris got loose, and he's still going. Waiting for a Ellingson block, and finally out in Calgary territory as R.J. Harris has his second catch.
Jamar Wall had a shot at this football. And defenders right now, like the guys talked about at halftime, they're taking their shot because they know they can't redirect if they miss. They're just taking their shot at the ball, and if you miss it, it's a big play the other way. R.J. Harris.
And then you saw Wall slide away after it. Back into the hands of Powell, crashing off the left side. Roberson brings him down. Good-looking drive for the Red Blacks here to start the second half.
Well, you just got to stick with it and not let the footwear and the field conditions get in your head. I don't care if you're a defensive lineman trying to get a push on an O-lineman, receiver trying to make a break, DB trying to redirect to get to that receiver. Don't let it get in your head.
8 play the drive, a fake to Powell on a roll, looking downfield, and incomplete. Not able to connect with Ellingson, who looked like he had a half step on Emmanuel Davis.
He did, just led to the boundary, and Trevor Harris knows that one got away on him. Boy, he had him. He had a step on him. You're right, on Seontae Evans, and just threw it a step out of bounds. Excuse me, Emmanuel Davis.
So from 41 yards out, Lewis Ward in his first Grey Cup game. Up and good. And it's a 7-point Calgary lead. Our congratulations to RDS colleague Pierre Percheval, winner of the Commissioner's Award for his service to the Canadian Football League as a player, now a commentator, along with David Arsenault for RDS calling the game tonight. By the way, Arsenault has the best depth charts in the league.
Well, Pierre Berchevall, I realized in his acceptance speech that he is a teammate of Randy Ambrosie, Commissioner of the League, and a special shout out too for the Hugh Campbell Leadership Award, which went to Wally Buono. End of a tremendous career for Coach Buono.
Neat moment at the awards when they had everybody stand up whose career in some way had been impacted by Buono, and by the end of it, everybody in the theater was on their feet for the Godfather. And we say hello to him watching tonight. A little different watching now, huh?
Well, he can put his feet up and relax. Hugh Campbell Leadership Award, and Hugh is here to support Rick on the sideline.
And our scouting report is that Hugh Campbell is pretty nervous when I found interesting. 2nd and 4 here. Mitchell with time to swing it out. And it's Jackson down the sidelines. Enough for a first down. Since the last Bo Levi Mitchell interception, there's been a 3 punts for Calgary. So they're trying to get back in a groove on offense.
Yeah, I think Noel Thorpe, Chris, has made an adjustment here at halftime to play more zone. You see the zone drops now. With Bo Levi Mitchell having that kind of time, he can look to find holes in that zone. This time it's a swing pass to Don Jackson.
Terry Williams checks in. First down stamps at their 53. And to the right side it goes. The hitch to Durant. Back inside, and Lamar Durant got loose. Ball comes out, but he was down at the Ottawa 40. Well, they're going to mark it at the 48-yard line. Well, Rick Campbell brings his team to Commonwealth Stadium, the hub of the Eskimo Empire, and where the dynasty was constructed by his father. And now he's trying to do the same thing in Ottawa.
CFL royalty to the left, folks, and Hugh Campbell, Coach of the Year in '79, his son in '15. How cool is that? Rick Campbell has built this team from the foundation.
Durant on the end around. He's got something. Lamar Durant down around the 26-yard line.
Thought Matt Dunnigan's comment at halftime was an interesting one, in that Canadians are used to playing in conditions like this where the field might not be perfect. It may be a little slippery. Hey, you know what? No big deal for Canadians. They understand. They know how to run in this kind of stuff. He slips initially and then regains, gets his legs underneath him, gets the edge, and a 22-yard gain for Lamar Durant. SFU product.
53 yards from scrimmage for Durant, and now Mitchell stands in, throws to the corner, nobody there, and maybe he's not on the same page as Matthews again.
No, he wasn't, and it looked like just threw that one out of bounds. Matthews shaking his head, coming back to try and get on the same page, although he was pretty well covered. In fact, 2 Ottawa defenders had fallen off on 81, so that would have been a risky throw to get it in there.
Mentioned the Calgary injuries, and Matthews in for the last 4 games of the season. Northorpe's team has given up yardage this year, 7th in the passing category, but only 3rd in points allowed. Looking for a stop here on 2nd and 10. And they screen back to Durant, and Michael Clausen was waiting on it and brings a quick stop to that play. There's the former Stamp, who admitted this week he was not happy to be left out of the Calgary lineup a year ago.
Well, originally a 4th-round draft pick by Montreal. He's right over the center, Eucombre Williams, and really just sniffs this one out. I mean, he understands the play, so rather than continue up the field to get to Bo Levi Mitchell, he reads it, smart heads up, good football IQ, underneath, makes a nice tackle on Grant.
So the field goal team comes back out, and Rene Paredes puts it up and restores a 2-score advantage. Their defensive coordinator, Devon Claybrooks, who got a real scare earlier this season. With more on that, here's Sarah.
He sure did, Chris. In late August, he unknowingly found himself in a life and death situation. A neighbor came and found him unconscious in his home, and Claybrooks was rushed to the hospital. When he got there, it was discovered that he's diabetic. His sugar level was at 98. It is supposed to be regularly between 4 and 8. Remarkably, though, after spending 10 days in the hospital, 9 days in the ICU, he has come out of it okay. There are no ill effects long-term for him. He says that he's doing really well right now. He's down to 2 shots a day, and he looks at Rick Campbell as being an influence on his style of coaching, and he said maybe today the student will beat the teacher.
There's Harris, and he threw that one up for grabs. A flag comes down. Part of the story is mom talks to him every day, couldn't reach him, and got a hold of the neighbor who found Devon and may have saved his life.
Illegal contact. Calgary number 28. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a 1st down.
Second flag on Brandon Smith in this Grey Cup game.
Devon Claybrooks will be a head coach in this league in the right situation. His resume, he has worked with Tony Dungy, John Gruden, Bill Parcells, Dennis Green in the NFL, Mark Trestman, John Hufnagel, and now Dave Dickinson here in the CFL.
Wow, that's a list. William Powell gets leveled by Alex Singleton, leading tackler in the league this year, and one of the streaks of that Claybrooks defense.
He's a no-nonsense guy, as you know, Chris. I asked him, I said, you know, what do you do if you see on tape a guy with lack of effort? He looked right down at me. He goes, I don't coach effort, I replace it. If that's an issue, you're gone.
And that's a lie, doesn't it? 2nd and 4. Short drop, quick hitter, the slant is caught. Deontay Spencer's got a 1st down in Stampeder territory.
That's a big one. That's a big one. The sense of urgency as the time disappears here in the 3rd quarter on Trevor Harris is turned up a notch. Down 10, got to come away with points.
Swing it over, R.J. Harris trying to turn the corner, and he'll step out at the Calgary bench, and he reaches the 49, so a pickup of 5 yards for Harris. Trevor Harris trying to come out of the shadows of Ricky Ray and Zach Collaros and Henry Burris, and this year he did that, over 5,000 yards, 4th in the league in passing. In fact, the two quarterbacks separated by 8 yards passing, competing in this game. Harris and bullied by Mitchell. And that one back into the air, and it hung up for a while. Jagarrett Davis gets a hand on the football.
Trevor Harris, when that went off the hand of Jagarrett Davis, he scrambled to try and get there and lost his footing. I mean, he thought this was going to be tipped up so high, he thought it was going to be intercepted, so he hustled to it and went down.
Harris caught one that he had batted down earlier this year, returned it for a touchdown. So now on third down, punt team comes in. Do they have anything on here? Or does Leone look for the pin? Angles the punt, bounces down towards the 10-yard line, and Williams bounced out there. So the Stamps, with the lead, start deep in their own territory. And Don Jackson straight ahead has 5. Second down, and it's Breskus in the catch. See what they give him for forward progress. Should be enough for the first down. Good year for Jawan Breskus. It started with the opening game since we did it back in June, and we mentioned he might have the catch of the year, and I think it ended up as the #1 catch.
Real happy to have Bakari Grant on the team, especially in this big game. He said he's been a mentor to Breskuson, like a big brother. Boy, he had a stretch of over 200 yards, almost 300 yards in a couple of games in September. Big target.
Final play, third quarter. Terry Williams in the backfield. Terry Williams, the ball carrier, straight ahead. And a big hole in a first down run. Antoine Pruneau with the tackle. With Williams with the big play in the game so far. And a first down run to wrap up the third quarter.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
The lead remains 10 points as we head to the fourth quarter. We'll check the numbers through 45 minutes.
Well, the last 4 games, Grey Cup championships have gone down to 1 possession deep into the game. 9 of the last 11 have. This is not 1 possession going into the fourth quarter, but close enough. And Calgary knows too well that 1 or 2 plays can turn the game.
Everybody knows the theme, and the theme for Calgary's been this year they have to finish.
Have to finish, because when you look at the last 2 years, they have been so close. And I asked Bo Levi Mitchell about this week. And if he changed his preparation for this Grey Cup because of how the last 2 finished. And he said, I will not change what I've done my whole career over a couple of plays. And that was the difference in the last 2 championships. Can they finish in this fourth quarter?
So Andrew Buckley in 2016 stopped. Bo Levi Mitchell said, I want the ball in my hands. He had it last year and threw a last-minute interception that clinched it for Toronto. First down and a handoff inside. Doesn't go very far. Tyrese Bear on the scene defensively. And he has his 4th tackle of the game.
Steps up to create a passing situation, slides to the blocking schemes, and then steps up in the hole on Don Jackson.
Can you imagine at that position the way he plays? 18 years as a pro. 38 years of age, a testament to his physical training and his desire. Second read over the middle, it is short hop, incomplete. intended for Prescott.
And he is rallying his teammates. Kyrus Hebert saw that one bounce off the turf and was over there cheering on the offense, cheering on the kick return team, high-fiving the defense. He knows the importance, and as that time ticks away down 10, how important it is to get the stops.
Get the ball back as soon as they can.
Even a couple of first downs can cost you at the end of the game.
Spencer, the lone man, back. Favors punt, settles at the 26. 45-yard punt. And now Spencer trying to get outside of Wick McManus, but brought down on a fumble. And McManus is on it. The leading special team tackler has a key fumble recovery as Deontay Spencer coughs it up.
In these games, you never know what player, what special teams guy that does so much of the heavy lifting is going to make a difference.
And in this case, it's Riley Jones, the second-year man out of UBC, who helps create the fumble.
Gets Deontay Spencer around the waist, and you're right, Chris, it gets the ball out of there, and McManus just hustles to it.
Jones, a Vanier Cup winner in 2015 with the T-Birds.
And the leaders in special teams tackles for this Calgary Stampeder team went to McManus. First down to cause the initial problems for Spencer. Jones gets it out of there.
A mistake that Ottawa could ill afford to make, and now the Stampeders in scoring position. First down at the 25, they give it to 25. And Jackson fights his way for 3. So a huge second down play coming up. Ottawa trying to limit the damage to just a field goal.
You've heard coaches say it many, many times that games come down to 4 or 5 plays that make the difference. This is one of them right now.
Often see Calgary go right to the attack on sudden change. They didn't in that case.
Manageable second down for Bo Levi Mitchell, though.
Three-man front for the Red Blacks. Fourth man coming, Avery Williams. It's into the corner of the end zone, too far for Chris Matthews with Corey Tyndall in coverage. And so the Red Blacks defense does the job.
Chris Matthews going to run the corner route. I thought he had the shorter throw in Eric Rogers. There's Matthews. They're working in tandem to that side of the field. Come off the line of scrimmage, and I thought Bo Levi Mitchell had Eric Rogers for the first down. He elected to try and push it. You know he loves the deep ball. Going after it. Pedal to the metal. It just misses Chris Matthews.
Goes Paredes through. Perfect in Grey Cup competition. Red Blacks have trailed since 4:14 of the opening quarter. Go time now for Trevor Harris with more. Here's Matthew.
Guys have already discussed how Trevor Harris changed his game, and Jamie Elizondo kind of simplified it for him. How about his attitude? Well, after week 5 in that loss to Calgary, Jamie Elizondo went up to Trevor Harris and said, "You're too sensitive. You worry too much about what other people think." Harris actually took himself off Twitter in the preseason, but Elizondo showed him tape of his gestures and how he was reacting to his teammates, almost apologetically. They told him, hold them accountable. And Trevor Harris said to me earlier this week, if I have to be the bad guy, then so be it. And his play has improved. Guys?
Dr. Trevor about his body language after the end of last season. Going to work here, looking for Erickson. Almost intercepted. Trey Roberson unable to squeeze that.
This is a situation where body language is important. And you can see how Trevor Harris has evolved and changed it. Okay, that one was almost interception. Roberson had a shot at it, dropped it. He's not going to duck his head. They said to us this week, they're not a palms-up team, and he's not a palms-up guy, meaning I'm not going to point at receivers and blame them.
2nd and 10. Here comes Heat. Harris open target. It's enough. He's got it in midfield. Clutch catch and a a huge Red Black first down.
Boy, and he wants to get that first win against the Calgary Stampeders. I mean, he has not beat Calgary, but it has been so close. 4 games in the last 2 years. His mate right here is Brad Sinopoli. 22-yard gain over the middle.
Third catch for the top Canadian in the 2016 game, and now to the sideline for Spencer, trying to make amends for that punt return fumble, and another Ottawa first down as they march back into Lewis Ward territory, but thinking about more than that.
Tempo offense now for Jamie Elizondo. Calling the plays at the line of scrimmage to keep Calgary off balance, get back in it.
Used 10 receivers last week. He's deployed 7 so far in the game, and William Powell isn't going very far. Cordero Waugh with the tackle.
Trevor Harris is 0-6-2 against Calgary in his career. 2 ties in the last 2 years, a 26 all game, a 31 all game. Thrown for almost 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 3 picks, but has not been able to find a way to beat the Calgary Stampeders. Can he do it tonight in the 4th quarter?
Both teams with 305 net yards prior to this play. Harris steps up underneath. R.J. Harris uncovered there and down around the 15-yard line. They left 84 open, and he makes them pay. And he's been shaken up, has to take a knee here, and will require some attention.
Taking a knee will allow the Calgary defense to settle in again, because Harris has got him off balance with this tempo offense. I love the decision here, him stepping up in the pocket and not trying to force it into coverage and go for it all. He dumps it down to R.J. Harris. He does the rest, takes a pretty big hit at the end of this play.
Harris, the top receiver for Ottawa in the game. Emmanuel Davis with the close that has shaken Harris up. And he was able to hold on to maintain possession. But he's out for 3 plays, and the 6th play of this drive upcoming. Pioli, Godino, and Beaulieu in motion. Short drop into the end zone. Stretches out. He's got it. What a catch. Greg Ellingson, touchdown. Well, it will have to be reviewed. Did he make the catch?
Spectacular. The replay system is looking at it now. All scores or potential scores are looked at. Did he maintain possession when he hit the turf?
No, he did not.
Boy, he sold it though.
And they're lining up for the convert, but of course the command center has to confirm all touchdowns, and we're getting the word.
Play is under review by the command center.
Had he made that catch, that was in the Tony Champion.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the great catches in Grey Cup history, it would have been in that category.
Take another look from a different angle here from the backside. Got the one hand on it. You see the tip of that football hit the turf. You've got to survive contact with the ground once you dive like that for the ball.
After review by the command center, the ball hit the ground and was an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we've come used to Greg Ellingson making those kind of circus catches, but this one doesn't stick on the board.
Again, body language for Trevor Harris. He's got to flush that one, come right back in on a 2nd and long. An important play right here.
Or 2nd and 10. Open man, it's Got there along the sidelines with Sinopoli trying to battle for extra yardage. Thurman able to stop him a yard short to the first down. So what do you do?
Decision time here for Rick Campbell.
Brad Sinopoli, #1 in yards after catch this year. Third and a yard and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, yard and a half. This is a team that went for 2-point converts from the 3 almost all year, and they're going to go 3rd and 2 here. And in a championship game, well, they got with them. Play to win, play not to lose.
Although you need 2 scores, do you take an easy one or not? They're going for the 2 yards, and they've got it. Or do they? That might be a fumble, but they're ruling it complete. It's Calgary football. Any way you slice it. And they do come away empty. Rick Campbell during the break, late in the timeout for commercial, trying to throw a challenge, but you only get 30 seconds too late. This is what he was trying to challenge.
Well, Jamar Wall is going to play man on Sinopoli coming out of the backfield. He makes a play, but you can see the jam by Emmanuel Davis deeper than that. He wanted a challenge, but he waited too long. You've got to make the challenge immediately before the commercial goes on, and the commercial break didn't get the challenge flag out in time, and they won't review it.
And so Calgary takes over on downs at their own 6. And they hand it off to Don Jackson, looking for a critical first down. Jackson short yardage. Well, we've got a whole team of great veterans who have worked this game proudly for the 11 years on TSN. Dave McCluskey's been doing this for 42 years, and hence a special jersey presentation to Dave, who is retiring after this game is done. Dave, we salute you for just a terrific career of work, providing all the great pictures.
Solid on camera free. His entire career, basically. Boy, we have a tremendous crew and a tremendous team led by John Hines, our producer, and Andy Boyukas, our director.
And hats off to everybody for another great week. Here's Mitchell dashing around. He may take off and plunges ahead, but he'll be short of the first down by at least 2 yards. And so Ottawa's going to get the ball back in good field position. Bo's trying to sell the spot, but he is, I think, too far away for Dave Dickinson to even consider it.
Yeah, no shot. I mean, you've got to kick it away, put your defense, your top-ranked defense on the field if you're Dave Dickinson here. And Noel Thorpe's group got the stop they absolutely had to have.
Sure. If Bo lost where he was on the field there because I think he thought he'd made it. Well, Neighbor to punt it away. And Spencer going to field this on a hop. Whit McManus can't get him. And Spencer dropped at the 53. 55,819 here at Commonwealth to see who wins the 106th Grey Cup. We've talked to players before about when this cup is walked into the building at this point in the 4th quarter, there's an extra surge of adrenaline on both sidelines. Trevor Harris to work. And looking downfield, that's incomplete. As he tried to connect with Fioli Gadino, broken up by Ciante Evans.
Yeah, really, as a player right now, with over 6 minutes to go, you don't even want to see it come in the building because you start thinking about the end of the game before it's over. And as we've talked about, and Calgary fans know firsthand, that Calgary still has 6 minutes to finish here against a very potent offense.
Just thinking, despite this field position, and despite being down by 2 scores, might not be too soon for, well, they're going to go deep first, and it's knocked out. I'm going to ask you, do you go 3-down football now, intended for Ellingson, or do you punt and pin and try and reboot?
Yeah, I think you can go back a couple of decisions and taking the field goal instead of going for it on 3rd down when you were 3rd and almost 2 yards. That was one decision that will be discussed, I'm sure, no matter the outcome here. And again, a couple of deep balls here from Trevor Harris pushing the ball to try and get it all back in a couple of throws where he still has lots of time to run the offense, especially in Canadian football.
Boy, Emmanuel Davis comes close to the interception. Adam Berger, the guy they call the Senator, the veteran safety, has been shaken up.
But to answer your question, Chris, I think you got to kick it deep here. Put your defense, get the 2 and out, and keep that field position edge.
Next possession.
Exactly. That's your 3 down possession. Rick Campbell reminding the punt team, be ready the moment that Adam Berger leaves the field. Great Simon Fraser University.
I was going to say, they've turned out some safeties, haven't they? So Richie Leone trying to pin them once again. Line drives it, and with the bounce over the head, and that's out of the wall. That is a perfect punt by Richie Leone. Exactly what Ottawa needed. 51 into the corner.
Terry Williams looked a little unsure as to whether or not he wanted to play it. The ball bounces up over his head. Out at the 1.
Last 2 starts for Calgary on their 7, and now on their 1. The longest of fields for Bo Levi Mitchell, and goes to the air for Chris Matthews, and that's a big catch by Matthews.
Boy, is it ever.
Came back to the football, steps out at the 11. That should be enough, though. Well, they're going to be just short.
Between 2 players that have had some communication issues in this one tonight, but not on this one. This is a timing out where Matthews just got out of his break, rounded off that cut a little bit, but he got there on the short side. Bo Levi Mitchell put 4 receivers to the field and left Matthews in the 1-on-1. Got good production on first down, right to the marker, and gives him some room to maneuver back there.
Nick Arbuckle, the short yardage crew on, and that's a valuable first down for Calgary.
Number 9, Dave Arbuckle, keeping the ball for himself, the quarterback.
Now Dave Dickinson goes against Noel Thorpe in the play calling. This point in games with the lead, conventional wisdom says run the football, pound it up in there, especially on first down. And can you run it when everyone knows you can run it? Noel Thorpe's got to get that front 7 up at the line of scrimmage, try and shut it down up front. Get him in 2nd and long.
Working the clock. Here comes pressure. Mitchell quickly out of his hands. It's Eric Rogers. And another huge first down. And suddenly, Calgary's out of the hole.
Exactly. 2 throws from the MOP in the Canadian Football League. On the money. The first one to Chris Matthews on the sideline timing route.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Little pick play to Eric Rogers. They've got at least room to punt the ball, and no running of the football for Dave Dickinson.
Rogers 6 for 61 last week, 6 for 64 here, and Noel Thorpe knows he can't surrender another first down. Taking 1 timeout. The 3-minute warning will stop the clock again.
Here we go, guys.
The instructions from Thorpe, too, is to strip the ball if it's a running play. Try and tackle the football and get it out of there.
Terry Williams in the backfield. Long way offset to lead the blocking. And Williams ahead. And it looks like he surged for 5 to the 30.
Well, you got to admire the aggressive approach from Dave Dickinson to throw it to get out of that hole from his own 1-yard line. Bo Levi Mitchell would have had to have been standing in his own end zone on that first throw. That's a former MOP, former MVP of the Grey Cup game, his coach Dave Dickinson. Got him out of the hole.
Trying to win his first as a head coach.
President and general manager has built a championship team year in and year out. Can they finish?
I think he's anxious to get to the sideline. 2nd and 5. That pass tipped and almost intercepted. was up for grabs, and the Red Blacks had a shot at it. But they do force the punt team on, and it was Kai Bear who nearly came up with what could have been a game-changing pick.
Not surprised, is it? The veteran in Bear, it's tipped at the line. He has a shot at it, but he cuts off Rogers from getting there, because even with the tip, it looked like Rogers had a beat on that football. And without the second effort here from 34, that's a completion and maybe another set of downs.
That D-line had 15 knockdowns during the regular season. They call them shot blocks. Neighbors punt. Spencer, 42-yard line. Oh, he got grilled. There's the man who led the league in special team tackles this year. And that's a dream shot for a special teamer.
Yes, it is. Timed it up. Was outside the 5-yard halo. If you're watching down south, on punts, you have to give 5 yards to the returner. And here's the great ISO shot of one of the best cover men in the Canadian Football League, backup linebacker. Wynton McManus with a monster hit, and Mark Killam, the special teams coordinator, loves it as much as everybody else. Watching that one.
That was going to be on the special team film for a long time. Trevor Harris on the screen, and William Powell taken down by Alex Singleton. Jagarrett Davis there. We've hit the 3-minute warning here. Down the stretch we come in the 106th Grey Cup game. Let's get the temperature on the sidelines. First, Matthew Shanini.
Before the Red Blacks went up, before the third quarter, Trevor Harris was trying to get his teammates pumped up. But I can tell you, since midway through the third quarter, the Red Black sidelines has been quiet. Now over to Calgary, Sarah.
Tick, tick, tick is what one player said as they try to get through this final 2 minutes and 39 seconds. But they're not celebrating, certainly yet. One player saying that this feels too familiar. They have to make sure they finish.
That's not inconceivable based on what we've seen the past couple of years. But a lot's got to go right for Ottawa in the next 2:39. 2nd and 6. 4-man rush. Harris steps up and launches for R.J. Harris. Jump ball intercepted. Brought down by Jamar Wall, and that might do it.
And 2 monster plays from the 7-year veteran, 30-year-old Jamar Wall. Remember the 2-point convert and the hit on Brad Sinopoli. Took points off the board. Or excuse me, the touchdown attempt on 3rd down took points off the board. And Jamar Wall with another big one, an interception. Trevor Harris tries to push into R.J. Harris. Get a big chunk. And Jamar Wall high points the football.
2-time All-CFL DB, moved to a different position this year at the Sam linebacker spot, and he's had a huge game, and now they'll try and grind it out. Con Jackson inside. Second interception tossed by Harris. 2 for Mitchell, 2 for Harris.
Timeout. Timeout, Ottawa.
John Hufnagel on the sidelines was in the 84 game here at Commonwealth, part of the winning team with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Reaction of Trevor Harris after the pick. This Calgary defense, though, ranked #1 against the run, #1 in points allowed. They led the league in giveaway takeaway.
Yep, #1 in taking the football away. Jamar Wall had a great line last week about no matter what receiving core we're going to face, I could sleep easy at night, he said. He'll sleep well tonight, or maybe won't get any sleep. There's Don Jackson, and he dropped by Pruneau, and Calgary's going to have to punt it away, so
wanted to stay
there's
in
still
bounds.
time.
Wanted to stay in bounds, though, Chris.
Yep. Kept the clock running.
Get the clock running again here once they place it.
Ottawa's going to get the ball back with just under 2 minutes to go, which we know in this league still is enough time, but Their margin for error now is closing down.
And this is where the leaders step up. You heard Alex Singleton. We got to go. It's not done yet.
Now the game this year, there were 3 touchdowns traded in the final 3 minutes. Here's Spencer. Sidesteps the first wave, but Pierre-Luc Dural will bring him down. Time now for the Shaw connection of the game. Shaw, super fan and proud sponsor of the CFL.
Well, after a couple of early drops and maybe some pregame jitters, Lamar Durant comes up with a big one, a touchdown to give Calgary the lead in the football game early on. Well, Levi Mitchell makes that connection to SFU product Lamar Durant.
Red Black started their own 54. Harris over the middle, and he's got Greg Ellingson, and out of bounds to stop the clock. Adam Berger back on the field as the safety of that Calgary defense.
Now the secondary for Calgary has got to stay off the ball. They've got to be about 15 yards deep, make sure everything's in front of them.
13-point deficit. They've opened Ellingson over the middle now, trying to get to the sidelines, and it is knocked out of bounds. Brandon Smith tried to suggest maybe Calgary lost a touch, but a dangerous play by Ellingson, but I think it stops the clock.
You have to be last to touch it. It doesn't count if you're the guy who hits it out of the hand of the receiver. You have to touch it again if you're Calgary to gain possession there. It's not touched before it goes out, so Ottawa maintains possession.
Risky business to try and get the clock stopped, but it worked that time. They've just adjusted the scoreboard here that's been reading 27-20, and you saw some panicked Calgary Stampeders on the sidelines eyeing that. Cushion's a little better, but maybe, oh, there's a pass, another one, and this one is by Trey Roberson. And that one's for his grandfather, and that one's going to do it.
Some ways fitting that it's here, and Larry Highbaugh, such a great career here with the Edmonton Eskimos. Trevor Harris has to push it. He needed a whole bunch of big plays to get back in this one. But Roberson falls underneath it, secures the catch, and another turnover.
Only 3 incompletions last week. 3 interceptions in the game, and the general manager of the Stampeders and boss knows it's Calgary's football game. Don Jackson loss in the tackle. We've been talking about the late Larry Highbaugh, and the grandson has done him proudly tonight, hasn't he?
Oh, and you could see the similarities in Trey Roberson. 3 interceptions on the season. In the regular season, none bigger than that in the Grey Cup Championship.
If you haven't seen the feature, check it out on tsn.ca. 5 tackles, couple of knockdowns, and an interception for a guy that a lot of people in Calgary believe should have been the Rookie of the Year this season. Handoff inside is not going anywhere, so here in the final minute, Calgary's going to get it back, or Ottawa's going to get it back. Now the 3 years of frustration about to come to the end for the team that's really been the class of the Canadian Football League for almost a decade.
Well, every year is a different journey, and in 2008, John Hufnagel, the GM, came back from the United States, from the NFL, championship season in 2008, and then not only built a championship team year in and year out, a first place team year in and year out, but had a succession plan in place. Dave Dickinson started as running backs coach, quarterbacks coach, went to OC, offensive coordinator / assistant head coach, and then was ready to take the reins when Huffnagel was ready to step up.
Well, they run it right down and call timeout. And they can finally start to breathe a little easy. Heavy favorites the previous 2 years and couldn't get it done.
All kinds of speculation on the future of Bo Levi Mitchell and whether or not he may take a shot at the National Football League in the offseason. But this team was led by their defense from start to finish this season, and it came through again tonight.
Maver's going to work the clock and step out of bounds, so it makes it 27-16.
When I say that, that's taking nothing away from the season that Bo Levi Mitchell had. I mean, at 5,000 yards, when you've lost your entire starting receiving core and had to basically start from scratch with a new group, even though they had experience like Chris Matthews and Eric Rogers, you got to get back to the drawing board with a new group, and they continued to find a way. You know, the last 2 years, Chris, as you know, they'd wrapped up first place with 2 or 3 weeks to go. This year, they didn't secure first until the last game of the regular season. Different types of adversity this year that they went through, and it toughened them up. They found a way to finish.
.25 ticks of the clock away. Calgary will have to kick off. And Dave Dickinson can smile in the last minute of a Grey Cup game for the first time in 3.
Devon Claybrooks, as I mentioned, future head coach in the league. Jamie Elizondo possibly as well.
You know, think about this, and I know it's a theme you love. This game won as much on the teams as on offense and defense. 3 phases, and the Terry Williams punt return and some great cover, a fumble recovery on punt cover for Calgary. And I think Dave is about to get dunked. Well, they're going to flip it into the hands of Spencer. And he'll get stood up just across the 40-yard line, 16 seconds left.
Ball coming off to number 85, DeAndre Spencer, returns the kickoff.
Well, this Ottawa franchise has so much to be proud of. You think about this team built from the ground up.
3 cups in 5 years. And we might have to get used to them being back over and over again with Rick Campbell. Dave Dickinson's going to coach it up right to the final whistle.
Oh, yeah. Based on the last 2 years, you bet he's going to that final whistle.
And Harris going to load it up. Far side of the field. It's got there by Viola Gadino. He's been trying to get out of bounds, and he gets taken down with 6 seconds to go. So time for one more play.
But you're right, Chris. Winton McManus is not going to have his name on the marquee very often. There's the getaway dump for Coach Dickinson. Amazing win-loss record in the regular season at 41-11-2.
Final play. Paris, they're not going to get it off. Sacked by Turner, and that is it. The Stampeders are over the hump and back on top. 2018 Grey Cup champions. Twelve of those Stampeders celebrating on the field had lost the last two, and they have time to celebrate tonight.
And they don't have to hear it anymore. Can you finish?
That's it, bro. We champ. We champ, bro. We champ, bro. We champ, bro. We champ, bro. We champ, bro.
Let's go down to field level. Sarah Leski's with Bo Levi Mitchell.
Bo, every journey has a different story for it. Your second Grey Cup with everything that you guys have been through. What will you relish most about this win?
Just being with my teammates. I've got the best team in the world, the best organization in the world. This is a true team effort tonight. Defense won a championship tonight. God, I feel amazing, man. I love these teams. I love this fan. I love our city. Calgary, we're bringing that cup back home, baby.
Said defense was such a storyline, but all three phases contributing. Was this the ultimate team win?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, all three phases. So many times Deontay Spencer could have got him on that edge and scored a touchdown. And there's one guy there to make a tackle, and that's what wins you a Grey Cup. Is guys having that Grey Cup effort every single play till the clock hits zero.
We saw a couple of interceptions at the end there. What goes through your mind as the time is winding down?
Oh, man, it just all starts setting in. Just all the work, the failure that we've learned from, and to get back on top, it just feels absolutely amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Great coach, Joe!
To Matthew Shinetti with Alex Singleton.
Well, Sarah, I'm with Alex Singleton, and maybe the bigger sports fan in the Singleton family, his sister, Ashley. Now, first, Alex, you and I were talking this week about one more step, but more importantly, your sister just came up to you. What did you say to her?
We did it. We're Grey Cup champs. No one can say anything anymore. We're the best in the league. We did it.
We talked about one step away. What does this journey mean after the last two losses?
We're Grey Cup champions. I don't care about the past. We did it this year. 2018 is ours for the rest of eternity.
Ashley, how proud are you of your brother?
I'm so proud of my brother. He did great out there.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. Ashley's as big a CFL fan as there is. Alex told us that she not only watches all the Calgary games, she watches every game. And it's a special night for the Singleton family.
Alex with 8 tackles on Grey Cup Sunday.
Just another night at the office, huh? Let's go back to Sarah.
I'm joined by Jamar. Well, your first interception of the season, and it comes in the Grey Cup. How did that one feel?
Words can't explain it, man. It's a true blessing. It was something I was asking God to give me, and at the right time, man, it came. And I'm just so thankful.
I heard you on the sideline late in that fourth quarter say we have to finish this game, and then you went out and got the interception. What did this group learn from the last 2 losses?
Exactly what I'm saying. How to finish. You know, we were in this situation last year. I had deja vu, and that's when it came to me. Make sure everyone knows that we have to finish this game, and that's what we did. And it starts with each individual person, and I did my part, and as well as everyone else, man. And it's amazing. It's a great team victory.
For so many years with the Stampeders, we think of the offense, but this defense really led the way and became synonymous with this team this season. What can you say about the group that you guys had?
We all bought in. You know, we always talk at the beginning of the year, if you buy in, we're going to be a great defense, and that's what we did. We had our ups and our downs, but at the right time, we peaked, and we got this Grey Cup victory.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
To Matthew Shinetti with Chris Matthews.
Chris, I think the world saw the disappointment you went through a few years ago. You're now a champion. You're standing next to your father, Daryl. What does this mean?
It means everything, man. We done worked real hard. He done taught me everything, how to be a man, how to step up, how to go through adversity even when times is hard. And I know I showed it on the sideline, but listen, man, my teammates had me. I believed in them. They believed in me, man. We got the win.
How much did we not appreciate what this Stampeder team had to go through with all the injuries on offense?
Man, they were resilient, man. We come out here and we talk about it all the time, man. They talk about how who's gonna be up, who's gonna be down, who's hurt. Man, we didn't care about none of that, man. We just knew whoever stepped on this field was going to give 110%. And that's exactly what we did, man. You see that score over there, 27-16. Can't nobody stop us.
Daryl, your son came back from that disappointment in the Super Bowl. Now he's a Grey Cup champion. How proud are you of him?
I'm so proud. I don't know what to say, what to do. Just congratulations, son. Congratulations. I love you. I love you too.
And now over to Sarah Lesky with Micah Johnson.
Micah, does this feel sweeter even than 2014?
Man, it's an indescribable feeling, honestly. We went through so much, man. We sacrificed so much. It's unbelievable, dog. And Marlon, we ain't forgot you, Marlon.
What did this team learn from everything that you guys have been through? You guys talked about the doubters that you guys had with everything for the last 2 years. What did this defense learn?
I mean, just stuck together. We went through adversity. Always sticking together, man. We can count on each other, man. It's pure love in the room, man, in the locker room. We ride and die for each other on and off the field, man. We brothers.
And this defense making plays until the very end. That final play, you got a couple interceptions late in the game as well. What were you thinking as time was winding down and you knew you were going to be a Grey Cup champion again?
It was just a surreal feeling, like just the clock couldn't count down fast enough. We were just ready to see it get to zero and really see the score sitting like that, man. Honestly, it's just an indescribable feeling.
I know you're going to be ready to celebrate. We'll let you go. Thanks so much for the time. Congratulations.
All right.
To Matt with Bakari Grant.
Bakari, you and I have been on a long road together. I've seen the disappointment. I've seen 3 Grey Cup losses. Did you ever doubt that you could have a moment like this?
Never. I mean, you can never doubt it. In this game, anything can happen, and all you can do is, just like the game, it's the next play, the next season, the next time you get, the next chance you get. I mean, I came in, 5-6 weeks ago? I'm playing in the Grey Cup. We won the Grey Cup.
What was that message that Dave Dickinson gave you? How much faith did you feel from your teammates that a veteran like you could be in this moment?
Man, I love it. All I can say is, Dave watched me work since the day I came in, and all he said was, the 3rd day of practice, you earned the opportunity to play in the Grey Cup. And I just love that I got the opportunity and got to help this team win one.
Everything you've achieved in the CFL, where does your mind go to when you're holding your children?
It's my son, man. He's my junior. He's my everything. My daughter, my everything. Man, it goes straight to just being able to have resilience, being able to keep pushing. Like they say, I got released at the beginning of the season. I'm a Grey Cup champ now. They can never take it away.
You're a champion, Bakari.
I love it.
CC, Suits?
Yeah, Bakari's brother, a former Eskimo and Ottawa Renegade. And Bakari Grant finally gets that elusive Grey Cup ring. You heard a reference to Mylan Hicks, who was shot and killed, a member of the Stampeders in 2016. The player that they dedicated the 2016 game to and came up short. So,
during Grey Cup week, Chris, I ask all the players that I get a chance to talk to, who are you dedicating the game to? And most of them for Calgary this year, with the adversity they faced with injuries, said the guys that fell this year, the injured players, top to bottom. Bo Levi Mitchell said it's for Romar Morris, it's for Kamar Jordan, Tavares Daniels, Markeith Ambles, Reggie Begelton. The guys that went down during the year that weren't able to play in this game, he said, we're dedicating this one to those guys, our teammates.
And he did mention that he had been receiving texts this week from players no longer with the Stamps that had been on either last year's team or the year before. And they were urging Bo Levi Mitchell in this edition to finally put it over the top and end the years of frustration. All right, we're almost ready for the award ceremony. Let's turn it over to our great colleague, Rod Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, Calgary, you're about to get your cup. Welcome to the 2018 Grey Cup Awards and Trophy presentation. To present the awards for Most Outstanding Canadian and Most Outstanding Player in the 106th Grey Cup, the President of Shaw Communications, Brad Shaw, and your host, James Duthie.
Thank you, Rod. First of all, to the city of Edmonton and everybody here today, thank you for being wonderful hosts
for the 106th Grey Cup game. The MVP of the 2018 Grey Cup, Calgary quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell. I know every championship is sweet, but after what you went through the last 2 years, how much sweeter is this one?
And this is amazing. It's the most amazing feeling I've ever had, especially with all the failure we learned from it. But I got to say, the reason it's so sweet is I had the greatest teammates in the world. Defense, they could not wait to tear y'all down when y'all had a bad game. Y'all came back and won this championship. I love my entire team, man. I love Calgary. Thank you.
You're a gunslinger. You have it tattooed on your arm. But with the conditions on the field today, you couldn't be a gunslinger. Tell me about the adjustments you had to make to win this game.
Oh, I mean, the coaches and everybody did an amazing job putting together a great game plan. Guys bought in. You know, we understood the conditions. It was going to be an equalizer. Guys made great plays, man. We went out there and won the game.
Congratulations, Bo.
Thank you so much. Go Stams, go!
Bo Levi Mitchell's second Grey Cup ring, his second Grey Cup MVP. The top Canadian in the 2018 Grey Cup, Calgary receiver Lamar Durant. Growing up in Coquitlam, BC, did you let yourself dream of being a Grey Cup champion and the top Canadian in the Grey Cup?
That's something you always dream of, but it happens to very few people. So for me to do this, man, it just means the world for me. And I love you fans for supporting us and my teammates. I couldn't have done it without all y'all.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
The captains and the coach making their way to the stage. Congratulations.
Hey, you all won one.
Let's bring in the commissioner, Randy Ambrosi. First of all, Randy, the Grey Cup is not just a game, it's an entire week, and I think I saw you at every party this week. What can you say about this Grey Cup, the festivities, and the game?
Well, I'd start by saying a big thank you to the city of Edmonton for the hospitality. I think this could potentially go on to be recorded as the biggest Grey Cup in CFL history, and they have definitely set a new high watermark for Grey Cup, so thanks to all of Edmonton for putting on a great week. And as far as the game, these are two great teams, and this is certainly a deserving champion.
Present the Grey Cup.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the CFL Board of Governors, the entire Canadian Football League, it's my honor to present j'ai l'honneur de présenter la Coupe Grey, the Calgary Stampeders.